Book 14, Junie B. Jones and the Mushy, Gushy Valentine. Just in time for Valentine's Day this week.
2 more days.
Chapter 1 is called Party Ideas.
Well, what's something?
Okay, listen. You have to be quiet. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I go to school in room 9. Room 9 is my favorite, is where they have afternoon kindergarten. Also, they have morning kindergarten, only I'm not familiar with that arrangement. Today at school, my teacher had an announcement to make. Announcement is the school word for listen to me, and I mean it. My teacher's name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs. and that's all. Mrs. told us that we are going to have a special day in room 9, and it is called Valentine's Day. She said that Valentines are special cards about friendship, and all of us in room 9 are going to give them to each other. My bestest friend Lucille squealed real happy. "Ooh, I love getting cards, teacher," she said. "I especially love the kind with money in them. Money is my favorite kind of mail." "Me too, Lucille," I said. "Money is my favorite kind of mail too. Plus also, I enjoy the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes." Mrs. did a chuckle. "Well, I'm sorry, girls, but I'm afraid there won't be any money in our Valentines," she said. "In room 9, we'll just be sending happy wishes to each other. But it will still be lots of fun." She smiled. "We will be making special Valentines to hold all the cards. And on the day of our party, I will personally deliver the cards to each one of you," she explained. Then I jumped up right out of my chair, because nobody even mentioned a party before. "Hooray!" I yelled. "Hooray for parties. Can we have a cake and donuts, Mrs.? And what about cheese popcorn and cotton candy and pretzels and candy apples?" I thought some more. "Plus also, we'll need red licorice and peanut butter cups probably. And chocolate-covered raisins. Oh yeah, and malted milk balls and gummy bears." I looked over at her. "Maybe you should be writing this down," I said. Mrs. shook her head no. She said she would have cupcakes, punch, and candy hearts. I sat back down very disappointed, because not much thought went into the menu, that's why. Lucille stood up. "What kind of punch, teacher?" she asked. "Will it have fresh raspberries and strawberries floating in it? My Nana's caterer always puts fresh raspberries and strawberries into our punch, and it is delicious." After that, Lucille twirled around in her fluffy dress. "And what about dancing? I'm learning ballroom dancing at my expensive dancing school, and so I would be happy to teach the children who are cheaper than me." Mrs. stared at Lucille a real long time. "How very generous of you," she said finally. "But I don't think we'll be having any ballroom dancing, Lucille." Jamal Hall waved his hand in the air. "Then what about a puppet show?" he asked. "If we can't have dancing, can we have a puppet show?" "Yes," said a girl named Lenny. "Or else, maybe we could hire a magician." "Or what about a wild animal act?" asked a boy named Roger. "Like a grizzly bear or a sea lion." Just then, a boy named Polly-Out Puffer ran right to the front of the room, and he jumped up and down all over the place. "No, wait! I've got it! He shouted real excited. "We could get 2 of those jugglers who juggle chainsaws." After that, room 9 clapped and whistled and hooted and hollered. Because who doesn't love chainsaw jugglers? That's what I would like to know. After we finished clapping, we looked at Mrs. Her head was on her desk, and her eyes were staring out the door. Then all of the children in room 9 got very quiet, because Mrs. was scaring us a little bit. Plus also, we were out of party ideas. Chapter 2 is called Scribble Scraps. But you have to wait until tomorrow to find out.
Yay! It's over, Miss Annie.